Welcome to the session on understanding the difference between assignment of benefits and accepting assignment. We have a definition here of assignment of benefits, which reads, assignment of benefits in the context of healthcare refers to an agreement or arrangement between a beneficiary and an insurance company by which a beneficiary requests the insurance company to pay the health benefit payment directly to the physician or medical provider. The patient or guardian signs the assignment of benefits form so that reimbursement checks will be sent directly to the doctor or medical provider. And as you can see, this is where we got this information. Because the insurance contract is between the insured and the insurance company, the medical provider is outside of that relationship. Therefore, reimbursement for services can be sent to the patient instead of the provider if an assignment of benefits has not been signed and agreed to by the insured or guarantor. This happens to be the case in other forms of insurance as well, not just healthcare. The place that we see this show up most often in the billing environment is here in the CMS 1500 form, which was taken directly from the CMS website, in Block 12 and Block 13. And this is the signature and date, which is usually electronic, and usually this says signature on file because the patient will have signed registration forms. This is a release of information and benefits. Hopefully you can see, request payment of government benefits either to myself or to the party who accepts assignment below. So assigning benefits is the purview of the patient or guarantor. It is not the purview of the provider to assign benefits. Now let's talk about accepting assignment. There are several different perspectives on accepting assignment, and with Medicare there is assignment and also non-assignment, and both of these are Medicare reimbursement options. The next two slides actually have information taken from the Noridian Medicare website. Noridian is a Medicare administrative contractor. There's some emphasis added here for clarity in the purpose of this discussion. So assignment, under the Medicare program, there are two Medicare reimbursement options. They are assignment and non-assignment. Accepting assignment on a Medicare claim can be a definite advantage to both the physician supplier and the beneficiary. The Medicare claim itself constitutes a legal agreement between the physician/supplier and the beneficiary, which carries specific terms with it that must be observed. Here's the part that has been emphasized for the purposes of this discussion. Assignment of benefits applies to all participating providers. This includes ambulance providers, limited licensed practitioners, those providers participating by statute, and also non-participating providers. If the provider accepts assignment, the Medicare payment will be made directly to the provider. Under this method, the provider agrees to accept Medicare approved amount as full payment for the covered services. Now, this is a definition from a Medicare administrative contractor. What this means is the provider has agreed to accept the rules and conditions of the Medicare fee schedule and for any other carriers to whom they submit claims to abide by the rules and expectations of that carrier in order for payment to be directed to the provider instead of being sent to the patient, if payment is sent to the patient, then the provider has to bill the patient directly and try to recover that money. That gets very tricky if the provider is accepting assignment and yet the money still goes to the patient. This has happened in the past, so it's important that patients understand their assignment of benefits and that it is written in clear language in their patient registration forms. A little bit further on this assignment issue is you'll see this on item 27 on CMS 1500 claim form. Again, emphasis was added for clarity, and this material again is taken from the Medicare Administrative Contractor. This allows the provider to indicate whether they accept or do not accept assignment. When accepting assignment, the beneficiary may be billed for the 20% coinsurance, any unmet deductible, and for services not covered by Medicare. The difference between the billed amount and the Medicare approved amount cannot be billed. There's some additional information here about payment in full, lack of payment, and so on. This is primarily based on the Medicare physician fee schedule. Recall that other carriers may have different co-insurance rates. So it may not be 20%. It might be a fixed co-payment rate instead or in addition to. Or it might be a different co-insurance rate completely. There's an additional note here. The 20% coinsurance is based on 20% of the Medicare approved amount, not 20% of the billed amount. Private insurance policies usually will reimburse the beneficiary for 20% of the coinsurance and the deductible. The implication there is if there's a secondary insurance. Some insurance policies may reimburse the beneficiary for services not covered by Medicare. Again, assuming there is a secondary insurance. This is not to say that if the patient only has, say, Blue Cross Blue Shield, that 20% coinsurance will be covered by the private payer. Don't confuse those things. Lastly, on assigned claims, the physician/supplier is bound by the assignment agreement even if no payment is issued as a result of the payment being applied toward the beneficiary's annual deductible. He/she must still accept Medicare's approved amount as payment in full. So you see, that's part of what happens with accepting assignment. And if we go back to the CMS 1500 form, what we're talking about is block 27 here, where it is yes or no, accept assignment. And this accept assignment box should match to the physician or service provider who is signing here in block 31. Those two things should match up. So in summary, accepting assignment is something providers do based on contract and fee schedule with the insurance. Assigning benefits is something the patient or guarantor does as an agreement to pay a third party like the provider. I hope this has helped you to understand a little better. Thank you for attending this session.